if you have one of these CPUs where the processor is glued onto the heatsink and it doesn't seem like it can be removed, there's actually an easy way to remove it. Now, needless to say, I've already removed this one, and you can clearly see all the adhesive type material that was fusing it on to the heatsink here. This is a Intel Celeron chip that came out of an old IBM that had a bad motherboard. So what I did is I junked the entire machine. I scrapped for parts, and obviously one of the parts I saved was the CPU. Now, in order to remove this from the heatsink, what you want to do is soak it in rubbing alcohol. They say it's best to use 90 or 95%, but 70% works just fine. It might take a little longer to soak. I would say about 7 to 10 minutes soaking in the alcohol. So, and then after you do that, after you soak it, you take a piece of dental floss here, and you literally just floss the CPU. Obviously, you got to be careful not to bend any of the pins. That actually happened to me, but another trick that I found was the only pins that got bent in my case were ones that are on the more outer portion here, on the very outside. So what I did is I actually took a magnifying glass here. I used the stronger one, and I literally just used my fingernail to bend it back into shape, and it seems to be fine now. I just haven't tried putting it back in a slot yet to see if it fits, but it looks like it would fit fine again. It does take a lot of patience, though, if you have to attempt at doing that. But once you soak it in the alcohol for about 10 minutes, it might be a little hard at first, but it should eventually just pop right off of the heatsink from that glue that's holding it up. Well, it's not really glue, it's more of a thermo adhesive type material. But and the other tricky part is you have more that's on the chip here on the top. So I'm trying to get it off now. So I'm soaking it in some more alcohol here, and some paper towels. So it should eventually all come off, and I should be able to scrape it off. If not, another thing you could probably do is freeze it and then scrape it off. It'll probably come off easier that way, but you could also use rubbing alcohol. So that's just a little trick I discovered on how to remove one of these chips from a heatsink that's fused on.